Good morning. This is Black Crow Walking, bringing you a study in A Course of Love by Mari Perrin. We're still up to the prelude, and today we're up to number 41. But I'm going to read the verse before just so you can get the context of what we're talking about. To tell someone, even a young child, that a caterpillar becomes a butterfly is seemingly unbelievable. This does not make it any less true. The butterfly, although some perceive it as being lovelier to behold, is still the same being as the caterpillar. The caterpillar did not cease to exist, it simply transformed into what it already was. This, it would seem, as if the butterfly is both butterfly and caterpillar. Two separate things become one. You are well aware of the fact that if you could not see the transformation take place with your own eyes, you would not have believed that the two seemingly disparate creatures were the same. Someone telling you this story of transformation without being able to show you proof that you could see would be accused of making up a fairy tale for your amusement. And so today's reading begins now at P41. How many of you see the story of your own self in this same frame of mind? It is a nice fairy tale, an acceptable myth, but until your body's eyes can behold the proof, this is what it will remain. This is the insanity of the nightmare you choose not to awaken from. It is as if you said, I will not open my eyes until someone proves to me that they will see when they are opened. You sit in darkness awaiting proof that only your own light will dispel. Your willingness to learn is evident, or you would not be here. You have been told and told again that a little willingness is all that is necessary. Why do you seem then to have not advanced, or to have advanced only a little bit? I think we're going to finish the prelude today. When your willingness is mighty. I'll just go back. Why do you seem then to have not advanced, or to have advanced only a little bit, when your willingness is mighty? Your willingness is mighty. Only because you have not vanquished the ego. You learn, and then you let the ego come and take all that you've learned from you again and again, and still again. It is ingenious in its ways of getting you to turn back again and still again, until you feel as if you are going in and out through a revolving door. You were yourself before you began your learning. You were yourself before you began your learning. And the ego cannot take yourself from you, but only can obscure it. Thus the teachings you need now are to help you separate the ego from yourself, to help you learn to hear only one voice. This time we take a direct approach, an approach that seems at first to leave behind abstract learnings and the complex mechanisms of the mind that so betray you. We take a step away from intellect, the pride of the ego, and approach this final learning through the realm of the heart. This is this why, to end confusion, we call this a course of love. Let's have a look at it. How many of you see the story of your own self in the same frame of mind as the butterfly and the caterpillar? It is a nice fairy tale, an acceptable myth, but until your body's eyes can behold the proof, this is what it will remain. This is the insanity of the nightmare you choose not to awaken from. Imagine if you were the butterfly and you chose not to awaken from the insanity of the fact that before you got your wings, you were a caterpillar. It's just a thought. It's a thought. Don't let your thoughts rule you. Your thoughts are attached to your egoic mind. That is, keeping you separate from your authentic true self. It is as if you have said you will not open your eyes until someone proves to you that you will see when they are opened. You sit in the darkness waiting waiting proof that only your own light will dispel. And that's the insanity. The insanity is that we are waiting for proof. And I guess in some senses that's why the Holy Spirit gives us what we call the witness of the Spirit, to prove to us, if that's what it takes. So the mind is going to continually leave you in separation, wanting proof. And yet you already know within you the light of your own being, the light of your love. Your willingness to learn is evident, or you would not be here. You've been told and told again that a little willingness is all that is necessary. Why do you seem then to have not advanced, or to have advanced only a little? Just to address that, evolution is what's happening in continual motion and change. And if you're sitting there in your rut, as I have done in the past, and you're unwilling to shift from what you have created into what is next, what is there for you, then the universe is going to crush you, because you're not changing and you're not moving when everything else is. But evolution will happen to you, despite yourself. It may happen very slowly and a little bit at a time, but it will happen. And sometimes that crushing process that the universe does picks you up, crushes you, and spits you back out, and then you have to recreate yourself. It's happened to me twice in my lifetime. And it was very dramatic. And it was because I loved what I'd created and I didn't want to move from there. And yet it was time for me to step up and move with the universe's plan for me. So evolution happens despite you. When your willingness is mighty, I join my mind with the mind of God. I join my heart with the heart of love. I join my will with the will of love. Your willingness is mighty. when you remember that this essence of you, this very spirit of you, is love living through you in all its forms. Only because you have not vanquished the ego. You learn and then you let the ego come and take all that you have learned from you again and still again. I remember reading Adyashanti's book. Adyashanti is one of my favourite earthly teachers. He's a Buddhist monk, but he doesn't teach Buddhism. He teaches enlightenment. And he wrote this book, and I would read the first 3 pages and I would be totally enlightened. And it'd be like I'd be walking around in bliss. But as soon as I put that book down, I could not remember a single thing he read. And the most amazing part about that was that every single morning I read the same 3 pages, had the same experience, and then couldn't remember. So I had to form a study group to be able to get through the book. And when I said that to Adyashanti years later, when I saw him in America, he laughed because he says he writes these books, but he never remembers a word he wrote. And it's true, we don't. But we know inside that we're different, we're changed, we're new, and we're moving with that mighty will. So when your mind is wanting to come back in and say, don't remember that, and you have to go through the same process over and over and over and over and over and over and over, you'll know that it's the egoic mind that's stopping you from realizing the truth of you, this love light that you are. It is ingenious in ways of getting you to turn back again and still again until you feel as if you are going in and out through a revolving door. And that's what was happening to me every morning when I read those 3 pages. I was in and out of those 3 pages every day, and I just couldn't remember what it said. Amazing. You were yourself before you began your learning. And remember that they're talking about the learning coming from the egoic mind, all right? You were yourself before you started learning. And the ego cannot take yourself from you, but only can obscure it. This beautiful light that you are, this love light, this love, this oneness, this connection with everything and everyone, cannot be taken from you by the ego, but it can be obscured. Because your thoughts will keep you rolling around in that same old, same old. Thus, the teachings you need now are to help you separate from the ego. So separate the ego from yourself, to help you learn to hear only one voice, and that is the voice of love, the voice of this light that is in you, the voice of this divine spirit that is in you. Divinity experiencing life in form. That's who you are. And despite the fact that we use the word God and Jesus and all those divinity, supreme consciousness, all those beautiful words, it is all one. We are one energy. This time we take a direct approach, an approach that seems at first to leave behind abstract learning and the complex mechanisms of the mind that so betray you. So if you're going to go back into your mind today about everything, you will betray yourself. Sit, feel into, and from your heart, love everything and everyone. We take steps away from intellect, the pride of the ego, and approach this final learning through the realm of the heart, You already know, darling. You already know. This is why, to end confusion, we call this A Course of Love. And that is the end of the prelude, and tomorrow we start the first chapter of A Course in Love. Bit excited. Anyway, so stay out of your mind today, all right? Stay out of your egoic mind that wants to learn, that wants to get meaning, find meaning in everything, wants to rationalize and work it all out. It's exhausting, all right? Just go into your feelings. How does this feel for you? What does it feel like for you to be in this situation? And when you've tapped into your feelings, then sit with it in your heart. And your heart knows. Your heart will show you. Measure everything with kindness, and then you will be walking on the earth as one being, and everything is you. The energy of love is in everything, and that is you. Bye for now. Have a good day. Happy. Bye now.